Okay, welcome to Pointe. Today I'm not going to be watching your video because for the YouTube recording it looks a little funny. We're going to start barefoot for our warm-up to get our core ready, and then we're going to do a warm-up for our feet. Then we'll do different exercises from last week. So you can watch last week's video and you can have this week's video. So there'll be completely different exercises that are all great for strengthening your feet for point work. The first thing we're going to do is plank. We are going to plank for 1 minute. We will do this all together. I'm going to grab my phone so I have a timer. Even Miss Chelsea over there by the computer is planking. So let me just get my timer. And we're going to plank for 1 minute, making sure that your bum is not in the air, nor are you sinking into your lower back. You want to be very straight and long in your spine. Almost trying to get to the space between your hips and your ribs smaller, if that makes sense. It's going to feel like almost like you're trying to tuck. That kind of feeling rather than getting into your lower back. We want to make sure that our lower back is protected. You can plank on your elbows. You can plank with your hands down. I don't want a fully stretched arm plank, so plank on your elbows. And please do not cheat by putting your feet against the wall. I'm going to take my socks off because they're a little slippery. And we are going to plank. Are we ready? Get into your position. Let's make it my timer. Here we go. 1 minute. Starting now. Making sure that your legs are fully stretched. Trying to get your scapula flat in your back so they're not poking out. Spine remains nice and long. And of course, make sure you continue to breathe. Breath is very important for all of our muscles. Excellent, keep going. We are halfway there. Keep breathing, sending energy through your legs, through your heels. Feeling your spine as long as possible. And imagining that your belly button is trying to touch your spine. I know that's not physically possible. We have organs and all those things. But imagining that your belly button is trying to touch your spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Do a little press up here. I don't know what this is called, maybe a cobra. I don't actually know. Great. Okay. That's a little bit for our core. We're now going to get our ankles and our feet warmed up, and then we'll put our point shoes on. So, whatever bar you have, we are going to be facing it. This is a great exercise for any of your training. If you can do this, once again, 3 times a week, awesome. We are going to start in parallel position. And we're going to start with 12 rises. No plie, just going straight up. Here we go. 6, 7, 8. We go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Make sure you watch the tracking, that your weight is going more towards the big toe in the middle of your foot, that is not going towards your pinky toe. That causes a lot of stress. 11, I think that's 12. I was trying to count on my fingers while I was talking. We're now going to go to 1 foot. 12 rises. Now watch when you track that you're going straight up and straight down, that your ankle is not twisting inward or outward. You want to go in a straight line. 12 rises on the right foot. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. You're going to feel this in your calves, in the backs of your legs. Yes, they're going to be tired. That's okay. 2 more, 11, and 12. Other foot. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Bring those feet into first position. the exact same thing in first. However, instead of just going up 2 rise, we're going to start from a demi-plie. So we're going to have demi-plie, push up, down, and up, 12 times together, 12 times on one foot, 12 times on the other foot. When you are going up, make sure that you're getting on your highest 3/4 point possible. Don't cheat. All the way up. And once again, you want the weight evenly spread out on your toes there. Make sure that you're not going back towards your pinky toe. Here we go. Give your legs a little shake. Your calves are going to feel this. We're going to be getting all the muscles that protect our ankle engaged, so that way our feet are well supported for our point work. 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you use your best turnout. Heels come forward every time you land. Abdominals are engaged. 10, 11, and 12. 1 foot. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure your leg fully stretches at the top. That's it. Abdominals engaged. 11, 12. Other foot. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoulders are quiet. It's just your leg doing the work. That's it. 10, 11, and 12. Awesome. Give your legs a stretch. Stretch out your calves. We don't want them to be rock solid before you go on point. That's really simple. Doing rises every day, so good for you. As an added challenge, take away the bar. Do your rises without holding on to anything. That is really great to strengthen and support your ankles. If you get really tight calves, make sure you're actively stretching them. If this stretch isn't enough, if you have stairs at your house, just step on the ledge of your stair, and you can have that heel kind of dangle off a little bit, and that gives you a bit deeper of a stretch. Everyone's bodies are different. Everyone's muscles are composed differently with their muscle fibers. So just make sure that you are properly stretching and strengthening both together. Okay, now is the time. Let's put on our point shoes. Miss Chelsea, there is. Okay. It's you. It's you. Okay. Point shoes on. Whew. All right. Oh, thank you guys. What foot is this? This is my right foot. I'm trying to put my left shoe on my right foot. That would have been a rude awakening. Okay. Taking the inside ribbon. And these are still the same old point shoes from last week. I do not recommend dancing in old point shoes. Please, 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 never do that. If they do not support your feet properly, you will get injured. All right. Also be careful, once again, depending on the surface you are on. I'm not sure if you're dancing on tile or concrete or carpet. If anything, find a surface that has more resistance than less. I would rather things be able to protect you rather than potentially cause injury and harm. So if it's a very slippery surface, find one that's a little less slippery. I know Miss Chelsea was saying that she was doing some point work on a yoga mat, and that seemed to work pretty well in terms of having the right amount of grip for her shoes. So if you're like, whoa, this is really slick, but it's the only place I have space to dance. If you have a yoga mat or something like that, or even like any kind of small mat that you might have in your house, like if you have one, I don't know, in your bathroom or kitchen or whatever, you can you can use that. Always be safe. If it feels like you might roll an ankle, stop. That is okay. I would rather you be safe than injured. Okay, if you are still putting on your pointe shoes, that's all right. I am just going to go over our first exercise. So you're going to start with your feet in parallel and you're going to be facing your bar. And we'll prepare our hands to bar 6, 7, 8. We're going to find our 3/4 point, push to point, 3/4 point, and down. Left foot, push, replace, and down. Again, this is just to articulate through the shoe, manipulating your foot in the shoe. We're going to do that 4 times. We're then going to cross our right foot over our left. If you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to bend my knees. So I'm getting a really good stretch on the top arch there. We're going to hold that for 8 counts. Then we're going to switch and do the other foot. Cross it over. Get a good, really good stretch at the top of your foot. 8 counts. Come back. Then we're going to keep from the top. 3/4 point, push. 3/4 and down. Right, left. Stretch and stretch. All right. Here we go. Abdominals engaged. Legs fully stretched. Make sure that your hips are lifted so there's length in your lower back. And your abdominals are lifting so that when your hips are facing straight in front of you, that they're not tipping downwards, but lifting straight up. So long back. Our abdominals are really key when you're doing pointe work. They're key anytime you're dancing, but especially here. Here we go. We're now going to move on to a demi-plie and a pressa. So once again, we are going to start with our feet in parallel. And we're going to prepare our arms to the bar, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 demi-plie. Down, make sure that your knees go straight over your toes so they don't come inward. And stretch, 2, and stretch. Third time, we're going to do a demi-plie, lift up through your shoes, stretch your legs, and lower down. We're going to repeat, demi-plie, and stretch. We can do it sideways, 2, and stretch, plie, lift to your, up to point, stretch your legs, lower through your instep, and down. We will do that 4 times in parallel. Then I will start the music over, and we will do that same thing in first. 2 plies. The third one, we go through our shoe, up, through our instep, and down. 2 demi-plies, through the shoe. As we straighten from this plie, try and keep your foot as close to where it was before. You want the box of your shoe to be flat on the floor, then lower through your instep and down. Okay. Are we doing good? I'm seeing like Thanks. It's all good? All good? All groovy? Okay, Miss Chelsea is answering all questions. Awesome. Okay. Clear. Also, I'm going to ask you guys, Miss Chelsea will see the answer, if it is better for you all if I am facing the bar here so you can see me this way, or if I'm actually sideways to the bar and you can see the profile of what my feet are doing. Let me know what you prefer and I can modify according to what is easiest for you to follow. Yeah. Okay. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this that we've noticed if we have a pause, speak a little bit, then another pause, the program picks up our voice better and we have less sound difficulties. So if it seems like I'm giving a couple of awkward pauses, it's for the sound to catch up. All right, so you've probably noticed that already with some of your other teachers. We are now going to do a tendu. So this tendu is really to work just on the articulation and the manipulation of our foot in the shoe. Your foot should be what is controlling the shoe. It's not the shoe controlling your foot. Very important. So we are going to do this facing the bar as well. As a challenge later on, you can also do this sideways to the bar. Either are fine. So we'll start with our feet in first position, facing our bar, and prepare 5, 6, 7, 8. I go tendu, press over, and tendu and close. Out and in, out and in. Tendu, press. Now when I press over, I am stretching the top of my foot. When I go back to my tendu, I'm trying and keep my ankle as stretched as possible. I'm not putting weight on it right now. I am just stretching my ankle as much as I can. And close, out and in, out and in. To the back. When I press to the back, I am, this is something I would never do normally in ballet, but I like really winging my foot and putting pressure on my toes. when I stretch, I am keeping a little bit of a wing in pointe shoes, otherwise it's going to look like my foot is sickled. So there is a slight wing there, but it's not because I'm pushing into the ground. It is because I am using my ankle to keep that, the ankle flexibility, to keep that line. And in, out, and in, out, and in. Then we're going to plie. Just to press up, hold and hold. Lower through your instep down, other side. Same thing, other side. Once again, when I press over, I'm making sure that my box is flat on the ground. I try and keep my heel forward as much as possible. So I'm really working on the flexibility of my ankle here. It might feel a little uncomfortable. That's okay. Just don't keep the weight on your ankle. Use your ankle flexibility to show that nice line. In, out and in, out and in. Same thing to the side. I regret it. Trumble. Here we go. A nice tendu, articulating through your foot. Okay. Move the music closer to me, and then I can catch it faster when it stops. Okay, so I'm hoping that your feet feel pretty warm in your shoes right now. I'm not wanting to do too much too soon because usually you have your variations class before this, so that gets you moving. But because this is your first dancing class today, you might have done tap earlier or rhythmic gymnastics. That's awesome. I recommend if you do come back to these videos, do some of the ballet videos ahead of time that Miss Christina Cole has been teaching. Or if you want to do a creative movement video or just something before you put your pointe shoes on so that way your body is nice and warm. We are now going to do a dégagé exercise. So very similar, we want to just be articulating our foot in the shoe. That is one of the biggest things in pointe, is that we get the feeling of what it feels like to be in the shoe and how to move well. So once again, facing our bar, feet in first position. We'll pair our arms to the bar. We're going to push out halfway. Then we're going to do like a push up off the floor with our toes to a dégagé height. Up, down, toes down, and heel. We do that 3 times. Up, push, replace, and heel. 3rd time. Up, push, replace, and heel. A nice demi-plie and stretch. Other side. Yep. Da-da, dee, da. I don't know why I'm singing a polka. It's not on a polka, but that's okay. Yeah. Push and down, demi-plie and stretch. So what I really want to see here is from that 3/4 point that you're really pressing out, a really strong push. It should be very active. It should be very strong. There should be a pop to it. And that's going to really strengthen your toes. And you have, I think it's 4 arches on your foot, 2 underneath, 2 on top. And it's going to strengthen all of those. So you really, like these toe push-ups, they're not a joke. This is serious business right now. And so it should have that nice pop. So it's very different than but pop and pop. So hopefully you can kind of see a difference in that as well. All right. Here we go. our toe push-up exercise. Okay. We are now going to do a releve combination exercise. The first time we do this will be in parallel. Then I will start the music over and we will do it in first position. So in parallel, these releves are not a snatch. It's just a rise up through our instep, through our feet. So we're going to go through your instep up and 2. So we're in this position right here. Your 2 toe boxes are flat on the floor. Your weight is even between your 2 legs. We're going to hold 3, 4, 5, 6, lower through your instep down, 7 and 8. 4 times we do that in parallel. I'll start the music over. We'll repeat that exact same thing in first. So make sure that you're really going through your inner edge. So that inner edge is that point right after your 3/4 point and right before you get on your box. It's literally the edge of your toe box. And that is really what we want to make sure we go through, and we do not want to skip. We don't want to go from 3/4 point to point and point to 3/4 point. When we go through our inner edge, we are really engaging all of the muscles of our foot and causing a lot of strength to build. If our feet looks like our abs after point, we would probably have a 12 pack. That's the kind of muscles we're using. I'm glad though that our feet don't build muscles the same way our abdominals do. But you get the image, you get the idea. Here we go. Feet in parallel, and we're rolling through our feet for these rises. After this, we'll do a snatch. But these ones are just going through your instep. There it is. Okay. We are going to now do a snatch. Something that I was thinking of when we were just doing those press-ups is you want any lift to actually be initiated from your core. So anytime I am doing a rise in point, I am imagining that my pelvis is trying to lift up to the ceiling. And so my lower abdominals are gathering together. This is what I'm imagining. I don't actually know what's happening, but I'm imagining that my abdominals are gathering together and lifting me up. So what I'm not doing is I'm not relying on my feet to go up and down and up and down. That is where my feet are going to become really exhausted, really tired, really quickly. I am thinking that my abdominals are what's lifting me up. And when I do that, that activates all of the muscles I need to support my legs on point. And it helps my feet not become as tired because the whole entire body is working together to support this position. If I were only relying on my feet and my ankles, I would become tired a lot faster. And my feet might actually have some weakness to it because they're not getting the support they need to develop the strength necessary. So anytime you do a rise and point, think of your abdominals being what lifts you up, and your spine is what lifts you up. Yes, your feet are literally going up and down, but imagining the abdominals. All right, so we're now going to do a snatch. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Similar to the last exercise, we're going to start in parallel. I'm going to start the music over. We're going to do the whole thing in first position. So starting in parallel, we prepare 5, 6, 7, plie on count 8. We snatch. 1, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down. If you are not ready to snatch down, you can just lower. If you would like to try to snatch down, by all means. Remember, when we snatch down, we lift up to go down. I'm not going clop, releasing everything. I'm lifting up to go down. Okay? There isn't going to be a literal jump, but you're lifting up. So we'll do that 4 times in parallel. And then we'll repeat that with new music in first position. Just remembering when you snatch, that where the middle of my foot is right now, my toes are going to replace that. Snatch. So in first, my first position becomes very small. If you do not feel comfortable to snatch down from first, take a couple of steps out before you lower down. Otherwise, after you snatch up, there is literally no room to just lower down unless if you compensate or step on your own toes. All right? Here we go. Snatching. I just realized this class is usually only 30 minutes, but because of live stream, we're doing it for 40. You get an extra 10 minutes here. That is awesome. I'm not complaining. The more ballet, the better, guys. Okay, plie on count 8. Here we go. Great work so far. Give your toes a little wiggle, kind of scrunch your toes in your box. You should always be able to feel your shoes. Nope, English. You should always be able to feel your feet and your toes in your shoes. You should not feel that they are numb. If you cannot feel your feet, please stop. There's a difference between like, oh, this takes a lot of effort. Okay, I can definitely feel that these shoes kind of have some wood in them. And there's a difference between that and like, I can't feel my toes anymore. So always make sure that you can feel your feet, giving them a little bit of a wiggle. You do need to feel your feet in your shoes. Numb feet in pointe shoes, not good. The last exercise we're going to do today is marching on pointe. This is, if you were to do stars and stripes, you might see this in choreography, but this is actually just to get you used to the idea of transferring your weight onto one foot. This we will be doing, of course, holding on to your bar. I do ask that you make sure that you're not using the bar to hold you up. However, that goes for every exercise, especially this one. We are back to parallel yet again. And we are going to start 6, 7, rise, 8. So we're rising on the introduction count 8. You are going to lift 1 foot up. Oh, make sure you're not too close to your bar like I was. 1, 2, 3, replace 4. Up, 5, 6, 7, replace 8. Up, 1, 2, 3, down, 4, and 5. I'm singing our march. 6, 7, down, 8. If you're feeling adventurous and have a nice lift in your ankle, a nice lift in your posture and upper body, you can take this sideways to your bar, and you can actually, instead of putting your feet back together, take a step forward. So you're actually marching sur la pointe. That is completely up to you. You know what your body is telling you right now. I will not be doing the moving forward one because this shoe is not supporting my foot properly. However, you can do it on the spot. That's what I will do. Or you can do it moving. This will be our last exercise for today. Here we go. Let me get them here. Our nice march. Okay. We're just going to do a little reverence without music. Good work today, ladies. Once again, you can refer to this video several times. Do it several times over the break, just to keep your feet nice and strong in your pointe shoes. So we'll step to the side, foot behind, curtsy, step to the side, curtsy. Thank you very much today, dancers. Good work.